There's millions of people that have claimed to have seen an unidentified flying object, and for many it's changed their view on the subject, leading them to be more open about the idea of what may be lurking outside of our solar system. There's then the other group of people that say that UFOs are not real, and can be explained using everyday objects. For example, they say that what people are seeing is actually natural phenomena: birds, planes, military crafts, camera anomalies and so on. There's another group of people though that have struggled to come forward with their encounters, and this is because they take it a step further. Not only do they claim to have seen a UFO, but they say they were actually taken on board the craft by the occupants. Alien abductions have been reported for years, with each individual coming forward with similar encounters. The majority of the cases involve otherworldly looking beings taking humans into a futuristic looking craft, and once inside they're experimented on. Although this sounds like a frightening encounter, the majority of people actually say this is somewhat of a nice experience, and that the memories they do have of the event are usually good. A Hynek scale is used to explain different types of interactions with UFOs. For example, a close encounter of the first kind is described as seeing an unidentified flying object less than 500 feet away. In this case, the individuals are able to give a detailed description of the craft they witnessed, helping investigators to build a case around the encounter. Going back a while ago, one person sent me their encounter with what they said was a genuine alien abduction. In this case, the individual had an encounter of the fifth kind. One of the issues people have with these types of encounters is backing up the event itself. This has caused many individuals to not come forward with their story, and this mostly comes down to not wanting to be ridiculed by their family, friends and the general public. One individual sent me the following message: "Dear Unexplained Mysteries, I've sent this out to a few people, but hardly anyone knows about my strange experience. I was 20 years old when this happened, and I believe that I was abducted by aliens. I've struggled to talk about this as I know the stigma that comes with the subject. I've only told one friend about this, and my family have no idea. The abduction took place in Wyoming. I was fishing on a lake in the area with one of my friends. After a few hours had passed, we noticed two bright lights in the sky. At first we thought they were stars because they started to move quickly but then stopped. They did this for around 20 minutes and we didn't think much of it. Suddenly one of the lights flew towards us and then suddenly stopped. We thought this was a meteor the way it came down, but then it began to pulsate. These lights almost put me into a trance. After this I blacked out. It's important to note that I woke up around 3 hours later and around 1,000 meters from the lake. After traveling back and collecting my things, I called for my friend. I got an answer and they asked whether I'd put something in the drinks we had that night. I explained I was equally confused and had no idea what had happened. After this we met up, had a chat and then went home, both confused about the lost time and why we both blacked out. Fast forward 2 weeks and I start to have these very vivid dreams. It was like I was watching my dreams from outside my body. It's hard to explain, but it was very clear what was happening. It was like I was lucid dreaming inside a dream. During this one dream I was floating above the lake I was fishing at, but something was off. It was the same lake that me and my friend had been fishing at the night we blacked out, and same as before I was able to see the bright lights approach us. But this time I had a different point of view. After watching the bright lights let out a bright flash, me and my friend dropped to the ground. Only a matter of seconds after this happening, a large craft landed close to the lake. It was then that 4 beings lifted my body into the craft and then flew off. My friend was just left on the ground in a paralysed state. After this, the dream jumped to me being inside the craft. It sounds cheesy, but the only way I can describe it is that it looked like a typical dish UFO. It was bright inside and there was some very slight humming noises I could hear. It was nothing like a plane engine. It was just a very quiet slight hum. The 4 beings were tall and had large heads. I couldn't make out the faces as in my dream state they were just blurred. Regardless, I woke up while on the craft and two of the beings approached me. They were telepathically talking to me, but what was strange is that I could hear the answer that was being given to me in my dream state. It was like I was somehow connected to the event. I asked why I was there, what they wanted and when I could go home. They were inside my mind and I could hear them as clear as day. They said that I didn't have to worry and that this was just a routine, and that I would be taken back soon. When I asked about what they meant by routine, they just said this is something that has to happen. After this, I asked why they come here, and they responded by saying they are travelers, and that they use the cosmos to spread awareness, but they didn't elaborate. The last question I remember asking was, what's the purpose of existence? To which I got the following answer. The universe you reside in was part of something great, something special. Life and death doesn't exist. You will always live. You are part of something much greater. We are here to observe. There is still time. After this, I fade out of the dream and wake up, to which I then remember the next bit because I was conscious and then went on to call my friend. I have no idea what this means, and can understand how the majority of people won't believe what I say. It's not about trying to convince people about what happened. I just want to get my story out there, and perhaps see if anyone else has experienced anything similar, or knew what happened to me. It's an interesting story, but as mentioned in the beginning, it's really tough for abductees to back up what they're saying. Even when physical proof is presented, such as a piece of clothing that happens to have high amounts of radiation on it, is still normally thrown aside. Regardless, eyewitnesses are still reporting that these types of encounters are happening around the world. So what do you make of this interesting abduction? Do you think it's a genuine encounter, or could be something entirely different? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by
Bye.